So the figure is 242. 242 million is what I have secured in the disability budget of 2023. Let me bring you on a whistle-stop tour as to exactly how that is broken down. 109 million is for existing level of service. 29 million is on new developments. 39 million is on COVID related, which are once-off payments there to support the assessment of needs. And 65 million to support the Section 39 voluntary community organisations. Let me break it out then, what the existing level of services is. That is to ensure that people that are in emergency placements, in residential placements, in respite, PA, personalised budgets, that their services can continue to be operationalised and the staff wages are paid. The new developments is the expansion of everything thereon, the respite, the emergency and the responding to the critical number of emergency placements as they arise. The new developments within that that have not been seen before is actually a response to the neuro community rehab teams, of where I have 900,000 put into 2 community rehab teams. That is in response to the ask of Neurological Association of Ireland, where they represent 31 organisations, the likes of MS, Parkinson's, motor neuron, Huntington's, where we will have clinician nurses based out in the community across all our CHOs. There was 2 delivered within the strategy in the past number of years. I'm doubling it in this budget and having the 4 operationalised. But not only do I stop there with neuro, it's an expansion of the neuro strategy, where we will put in place 1.7 million has been secured to invest in neurological nursing workforce, with the addition of over 23 additional neurological nursing whole-time equivalents across neurological centres. The next stage of the strategy rollout is to CHO4, to actually work with where we have trauma there already, to have the neuro team there, and then the community team, along with paediatric neuro support. So there's a whole package here looking after 31 organisations who we meet on a daily basis, be it in the AV room or over in Buswells. They are in all our communities, and they are looking for clinical nurse specialists, and that's what I have responded to, and it is a top line within the new developments. I am also taking a huge priority within assistive technology and partnering with the WHO. When I talk about once-off funding, I'm talking about the assessment of needs and the court case and the backlog of assessment of needs that is required to get done. And it's time that, and I am very fortunate, we got the funding now. It's not the first time I've sought funding to clear a backlog of assessment of needs. It's the second time. I got 7 million when I came into office 2 years ago. I've now sourced 11.5 million to ensure that I can work with the various organisations, our 38s, our 39s, the HSE, but also working with private operators to ensure that we have an assessment completed so that the families can have the proper intervention, the proper pathway and the proper support that is required in a timely fashion. That's why that money was so important, because for far too long parents are being left for too long on waiting lists. And finally, the other piece there is 31 second now, I just have to go down through it. There is another 27 million there, which is to respond to the emergency cases out of COVID. There's 143 emergency cases that the HSE have responded to, and that funding is there. It will be going into my base next year, but it just tells you the high level of need and unmet need there is within disability. And I was very fortunate with the department within DCD and within health in sourcing that funding to meet the need and be able to respond to the need of the families in crisis. And finally, it's not a week ago since we had Section 38s or 39s walk on the streets. They have been all over the country telling us about actually how expensive it is for them to run their organisations, be it from the increase in food, to the increase in transport, to the increase in energy, and how difficult it is for them to retain staff. Thanks to the support of Minister McGrath, I was able, the Department of Health secured 100 million of an inflationary measure in response to nursing homes, hospices and Section 39s, of which I have got the lion's share of 65 million within disabilities. So wraparound figure again is 242 within disabilities, 109 existing level of service, 29 new developments, 39 once-off and 65 for the 39s. That is the work that has gone in response to the meeting needs of the child, the family, the growing adult and the service, the workers. That is the funding that was sourced within disability. I am very grateful to my two senior line ministers, Minister Donnelly and Minister O'Gorman, who have supported me not just today but for the last 12 months, and finally to Minister McGrath, who has given me the funding not only to meet the current needs of but also to be ambitious and drive on in relation to neuro. Thank you, Chair.